These are the men who've been handpicked to fight Islamic State in Syria, here attacking government forces.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
They're Syrian rebels with some training and a few American weapons. Now they're to be President Obama's boots on the ground as he vows to degrade and destroy Islamic State.
Together with our partners, America is training and equipping the Syrian opposition to be a counterweight to the terrorists of ISIL and the brutality of the Assad regime.
But when US planes took off, the president's allies in Syria had no clue the bombing had already begun. The air campaign against Islamic State is now well underway. But the ground strategy is shaky. The 13th Division is one of the local groups that's been vetted. It's supposed to get the training and weapons President Obama's promised.
It's all words. Nothing's materialized yet. We haven't got the things we've asked for. We have nothing, not even weapons.
But Islamic State has. After their success in Iraq, the militants are better armed and funded than ever. And they've been advancing westwards across Syria. The Americans have been meeting rebel commanders here in Turkey to try to halt the march of Islamic State. The fighters have been very clear about what they want. Not training, but supplies and support, and immediately. And they've been very angry and very vocal about what they say is the failure of coalition airstrikes to halt government attacks against the people.
I wish they wouldn't say some of the things they've been saying publicly. I understand their frustration. You know, sure, ISIS is their enemy and they want to crush them, but they see the biggest enemy as Assad. Another area they have a lot of concern is, at least as of yet, there hasn't been a lot of communication between our airstrikes and where they are on the ground. So it's not really a situation where they're acting as forward air controllers. They're almost as surprised by the strikes as ISIS is.
There have been some protests in rebel areas against the coalition strikes. People are angry because they want government forces to be targeted too, and because of reports of civilian deaths. America denies this. But what matters is how things look on the ground. Major Darwish is part of a secretive operations room run by the West and rebel groups.
Our support will be seriously damaged if the West doesn't support the revolution as well. People are against these airstrikes. Today we have protests. Tomorrow they might attack us because they think we are working with the West.
While the world focuses on Islamic State, Syria's civil war goes on. This was Aleppo a few days ago, and a government barrel bomb attack. Many hoped the coalition would ease their suffering. It hasn't yet, and it may not. And it could alienate the very people it should be winning over. Pannell, BBC News, on the Turkey-Syria border.